Welcome everybody to episode 10 of our podcast where we discuss people that had encounters with Jesus while he was here on earth. Gerald, welcome.
Very cool to be with you.
Yeah, today I'm excited. We're talking about one of
We're
my
talking
favorite...
about you.
we're talking about a character, and it's not the genes Levi, but his first name was Levi.
That's right. Levi, better known in the Christian world as Matthew.
And this is the first book of the gospel. And I think a lot of us think we know a lot about this character because it's the first book that when you go to the gospels, and the New Testament, Matthew, everybody knows the book of Matthew. But there's so much we don't know about this character.
Yeah, I tell you what, I like the way you're introducing that because I think, in God's great knowledge, he chooses to allow Matthew to be the first book that we're reading in the Gospels. And what's interesting about the book of Matthew is that it was written by a very intelligent man, and a man that was not necessarily always loved by everybody. Exactly. He was Levi, tax collector, and not everyone would have loved him. And I suspect he had that knowledge. People didn't like the tax person, like we might not always like our tax people. Yeah. But Jesus gives him a name. He says, I'm going to call you Matthew. Remember, just like he changed Simon's name to Peter, the rock, he changes this guy's name. He says, I'm going to give you Matthew. Why? Why Matthew? Well, it means gift of God. And I think Jesus just understood something about this man's ability, about his influence. But what about the way Jesus gets to meet him? That's very cool.
So just before you tell us how he gets to meet him, it just shows once again, and there's a golden thread going through all of these characters, that we've got a thought pattern on a certain character and a personality, like an I personality or whatever it might be, and we will put people in a certain box. And here comes Jesus, and he's like, what you guys might perceive as definitely not the gift to the world, especially as I'm saying this is the gift of God, and he renames him Matthew. So we should be so careful how we see people where God sees something completely different.
I love what you say. I mean, I'm strong on personalities, be it the D, I, S, C, R. I believe those things to be true. But the one thing I'm learning as I start to read through Jesus is that Jesus is really recognizing the individual and the possible gift that can be exercised. He's not looking at your shortcomings. So we've got all the stories now about Peter and the sons of thunder and all the people we've spoken about. But here's a guy, tax collector. Jesus meets him and says, first counter, intelligent guy, he's got money. Influence. So he's not like last week where we were speaking about the beggar that's begging and he's on his knees. This guy is not begging and he's not on his knees. But Jesus is still saying exactly the same thing to him. I need you to follow me. We know that he's spoken that way to Peter as well. He says, I need you to follow me. And this guy, what I loved about him, and that's where I joke with you, I say, the beggar ran out and testified. Other people that Jesus touched, the woman with the flow of blood, she bowed down and worshipped. What did this guy do? He said, listen, I'll definitely follow you. Stick around, I'm arranging a party. And the Bible says he got all the other tax collectors together. Yeah. And again, I look at it, and people often in the church look at Matthew as the money guy. I'm saying, no, look at the evangelism. Because he had the ability to attract all these tax collectors, if you'd like, sinners. The Bible says they got drunk. They were partying and all the rest of it. But he got them in the presence of Jesus. And so here's a guy who had a connection with people who were, if you'd like, affluent, people that were making money, people that were, not needing the Lord, if you'd like. But he still had the conviction to get them into the presence of the master. And there's a big conversation that happens. I don't know if you remember the conversation where the guys are saying, to Jesus, why are you sitting with these sinners? Why are you sitting with those that are drinking now and all the rest of it? And then Jesus says, listen, I'm not here for the perfect. I'm not here for the righteous. I'm here for those that need me, need God. And you're looking at their money, you're looking at their status, but I'm looking at the soul. And I think that's a powerful story. Jesus is introduced to a total different audience because of one man.
And I think, for us working at a church, and it's always difficult to maybe get that opportunity to evangelize in a certain way. And Paul says it so beautifully. He says, find a common ground to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
And we don't have a lot of time, especially on money and taxes. We don't have a common ground with a certain type of people that might have that knowledge. And here Jesus comes and says, I'm picking out certain people that I know that can have influence in other people's lives. And I'm pretty sure, just as Matthew's life or Levi's life was changed, that a lot of those tax collectors that were there, they would go, hey, that friend of yours that you introduced us, Jesus, I've got this bit of an issue. Is there any chance you can hook me up and we can have a chat to him regarding that?
Absolutely. And I love the way you're putting a take on that, because remember, everything is formed in relationships. So when these guys followed Jesus, they didn't forget about all the people. You got to ask yourself, when Jesus and them came to town, where did they go and stay? Who knows? Maybe one of those guys owned the hotel in that area, if you'd like. And, Matthew was able to make a call. He wasn't making a call, I know that. But, walking in and saying, hey, how's it, partner? Myself and Jesus and all the other disciples are here as well.
Yeah.
Just think, there was a serious amount of people to feed and to host. So all through Jesus' ministry, he was having to lean into people that actually had finances, even though we read a lot about him touching people that had no finances. Yeah. And so I think that's just a big lesson again, is that Jesus is for the rich and he's for the poor, simply because he's actually at the end of the day just for people.
That's the thing.
For the soul of people. And we should not shun the rich. We shouldn't shun the poor.
Yeah.
And when we meet people, we should be not so distracted by their lifestyle. But we should rather be attracted to their gift. Not distracted from their lifestyle, but attracted to their gift. And in that, build the time so that you can change them.
Look, I think that's quite a lot said about Matthew in this session, and I agree 100% with you. And I think we sometimes get intimidated by people's status. We don't know how to do it. And here Jesus just says, listen here, follow me. Leave everything. And he did. He did leave everything.
And he rocks up at the party.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd think to ourselves, people are going to invite us to a music event, or people are going to, what are people going to do if Gerald rocks up to watch Bruce Springsteen? I've been to watch Bruce Springsteen. But seriously, you think about that, Ryno. Sometimes people will want to judge me or judge you for where we are.
Yeah.
And they won't understand we're actually there because we're trying to build a far greater relationship. And therefore they'll judge us because of what they're distracted by. But they won't judge us for what we're trying to be attracted by. So, don't judge people. Be like Jesus.
I love that. That should just be, that could be our bottom line. Wrapping it up, is that what you want to end off with?
Yeah, just seriously. I'm so impressed that Jesus went to the party. He went and sat there with tax collectors that were getting drunk. He had nothing in common with them.
Yeah.
But he had a heart for them. And that's all I want to plead out there. Yeah. Don't be distracted by people's lifestyles or their ways. Rather be attracted to the potential that's on the inside of them.
Sure. Well, once again, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for tuning in and listening,
I love it.
Whatever platform it might be. And if this has inspired you, please take the time just to share it with people out there. Nothing but love.
Nothing but love, friends.
Let it be.